everybody, it's Kyle, coming at you live from the basement. Day 4,273,776 of the quarantine. Not really quarantine for me, but yeah. So, in a little bit better spirits, as you can tell, this week. Still dealing with a little bit of that, though, and still, having some things that might even keep me up at night. Just overthinking everything about the way things are going and how people are reacting and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, that's actually, what's bugging me this week is, and I've talked about this before, these protesters and these people that are out there and the way that we're behaving is absurd. And I think what people don't realize is that it's driving us towards a scenario where the United States is not that powerful and not the world power anymore, which is fine. I really don't give a shit if we're the world power or whatever. But I will say this, the people who do give a shit about it are the ones that are seemingly driving us towards not being that anymore. It's interesting. We've cut so much money to education, and now we're downplaying science, and it's crazy to watch. It's absolutely insane. And, a lot of people don't know that politics weren't always mixed with religion. And, there were a few different things that happened throughout our history that kind of brought the Christian right together with the GOP, but a lot of people don't even realize that it wasn't even in the Pledge of Allegiance. It wasn't one nation under God. It was actually one nation under all, or I believe, or above all, something like that. I think is one nation above all. Yeah, and Eisenhower had that changed. He was a very religious person, and he wanted that changed to one nation under God. And yeah, so that didn't even exist until the 50s. So that, and then when Ronald Reagan was running for president in 1980, he actually aligned with the Christian right in order to get elected. Now, he was a religious man as well, which is fine. But little did he know that would ultimately lead us to a situation where, people were making decisions based upon their religion for everybody, people who aren't their religion. And that's unacceptable. It's an improper way of behaving. It's not what our government is built on. It's not what our country is founded on. And it's absurd. So if you deny it or you say otherwise, you're probably one of those loony bastards that think it all goes together. It's not. Is Christianity the predominant religion in this country? Absolutely. Is it the predominant religion in the world? Yep. And that's fine. I don't care. But our country's rules and regulations and laws are not to be made up entirely on Christianity and Christian views. There are people, this country is built on being a melting pot. There are people from other countries that are other religions that are part of this country. And therefore, you're going against our own rules of our country, which is freedom of speech, freedom of religion and all that, by pushing laws and regulations and rules based upon one religion. So it's just so absurd. It's hard to even explain. I mean, some people are so hell-bent on their way is the right way that they just can't see past it. And, it may sound like I am sometimes, and sometimes I am, but really what I believe in and what I push for and fight for is that everybody gets a fair shake. And it just doesn't feel like everybody does. And I think we're heading down a path where we're going to come out of this pandemic and we're going to come out of this administration, and we're heading into the early part of the 21st century in a downward spiral to fall out of place as the world power and the dominant cultural country of the world. And that's sad, because what this country is based upon is accepting everybody. And there's so many people that don't want to accept people for whatever reason, whether it be the amount of melanin in their skin, or their alternate cultures, whether it be language or religion or sexuality. It's crazy not to accept that. That's what we're founded on. That's what we're based on. We were created by a group of people that were from another country. It's just fucking absurd. So that's what's bugging me. That's what's bothering me. I worry about what this place is going to be like in the future for my kids, and their kids, and whether everybody's going to be safe, how we're all going to make it through all this. And when I hear stories about, a security guard that works at a store who has a set of rules he's told to follow and make sure people follow as they come into the store, and he tells a woman she can't go in because she's not wearing a mask during these reopenings. And she comes back with her family members and stuff, and they shoot and kill this guy when he was doing his job. That's fucking idiocy on the highest level. And it's getting to the point where, we're going to have to do something here. We're either going to have to succumb to the dumb shits, which we have somewhat in a way already, or we're going to have to rise up and say, you know what, no, this is the way this is going to happen. And if you don't like it, you're either going to get thrown in the pokey, or you're going to get your ass beat down and busted. So I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I don't know how soon that's going to happen. But it feels like the amount of stupidity and the lack of intelligence and understanding of basic things like science is overtaking us and overwhelming us. And if we don't watch out, we're going to end up going the way of the dodo, for sure. It seems like that right now to me. First things first, my recommendation, I'd love to clean house when it comes to politicians. They have no interest in what we're doing right now. So I say, forget them. I say, let's get rid of them and let's start fresh with new people who give a shit about us and who do their jobs for us and by our wishes and our desires as far as our country. But again, these are radical ideas and yada, yada, yada. So, all right. But that's where I'm at right now. Still, got a little bit of the depression coming around and creeping around in my head and making me feel kind of crappy. But I'm getting through it, just like everybody else is, I'd imagine. I am ready for this stuff to be over with, but I'm also not ready to find out that there's 3,000 people per day dying from it. But I don't have control over that. They're going to reopen things, and I'm going to have to go be a part of it, despite how many people are going to die as a result of it. So that's where I'm at. I don't know where you're at, but that's a depressing thought, and that's a bummer. But it's life, and I'm so sorry to people out there who've had loved ones die from this, or people they know die from this, because I hear you, and I don't think people are taking you seriously either. I really don't give a flying fuck about the economy, a man-made construct based upon money, which is man-made as well, and actually serves no true, real value. It's all based upon what we say it's worth. But fact is, the economy is more important than me. It's more important than you. It's more important than your nana or your pop or your grandkids or your nephews and nieces or your own children or anybody, your mom and dad. And so they're going to fucking reopen all this and people are going to die. 3,000 a day. And that's just all there is to it. I mean, I hope not. I hope they're wrong on these projections, but kind of doubt it. All right, I know that's a bummer note. I'm going to go to the break real quick, come back with some things that I like, things that I'm into right now, and it'll be a little bit happier side of things. So throw it over to Kyle. Hey, Kyle. All right, we're back. Okay, what am I into right now? Well, at the request of a good friend of mine, I started watching the last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars animated show on Disney Plus. And it's a pretty interesting storyline. So the last 4 episodes are kind of their own separate story. So about 2 hours worth of Star Wars story that leads directly into a lot of stuff we've already seen. So it's pretty interesting. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's actually pretty good. I've only watched the first 2 of those 4, but definitely has me interested in watching the rest. So I'll be checking that out over the next couple weeks for sure. If not couple days, probably couple days, because I watched 2 of them last night. It's probably only take me another hour to watch the other 2. And it's a great storyline, man. Darth Maul's in there. Ahsoka Tano, who I've heard Rosario Dawson will be playing Ahsoka Tano in the 2nd season of Mandalorian. So that's pretty exciting. Speaking of Mandalorian, there is a new documentary special on Disney Plus, and I believe it's going to do other shows and other movies and stuff like that as well. But the first episode is about The Mandalorian and the group of the directors that Jon Favreau chose and Disney chose to direct those episodes. One of which is Bryce Dallas Howard, who is Ron Howard's daughter. So now father and daughter have both directed Star Wars stuff. Kind of interesting, kind of cool. I mean, he came in and fixed up and finished Solo, which was, I love that film. And now his daughter directed the, I can't remember if it's the 5th or the 6th episode. Thanks for that interruption, by the way. Freaking ads. But his daughter directed the episode of The Mandalorian where they're in that village and there's some marauders that come in occasionally. It's a good episode. Very complex episode. Tough one to direct, I would imagine. So check that out if you get a chance. Very good docuseries. If you've got Disney Plus, it'll be on the front page, I'm sure. But watch it if you get the chance. It's only about a half hour long and easily worth it. And then, of course, Taika Waititi directed, I think, a couple episodes. And, there's some good directors that were involved in this, man. It's really good stuff. Let's see. What else am I into? I haven't really watched much else. Just been watching regular stuff. We watched another episode of Lock and Key. It's just kind of hard to get through. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's good and it's entertaining and interesting, but it's just not quite Stranger Things, where you can blast through it quickly. But it's good. So I'm sure we'll finish it. That's about it. I can't really think of much else that I'm watching right now that's that interesting. I mean, we did start watching What We Do in the Shadows. We watched that film, Taika Waititi, again. And then we started watching the TV show. Pretty interesting. Oh, there is a new show called The Year of the Rabbit with Matt Berry, who played Toast in Toast of London. And it's pretty interesting. We started watching that as well. Very crazy, dark, dreary, gross, really, show about a detective or a investigator in Scotland Yard, I believe, or in the British police force. I don't know. Back in the old days. Very interesting. Check it out if you get a chance. And be prepared, because it's horrifying in a lot of ways. But, different strokes for different folks, right? It's something I laughed at, and the wife and I both laughed at. But at the same time, there were moments that were, ugh, whoa. Anyway, check that out if you get a chance. It's fun. We love him, so we'll watch almost anything with him. Let's see, music-wise, did get Daft Punk Discovery album. I love that record, man. I know Kanye West stole Stronger, Better, Faster, or whatever off of it, and actually probably the only reason I like that song by him. But that album is just, aerodynamic is amazing. I mean, it's just a good record from top to bottom. It's a double record, and it just sounds great. And then the group Ride has a new record, and I cannot remember the name of the album. It's kind of sad because I have it, and I've been talking it up. Ay. What is the name of that Ride album? I can't remember, man, but I really dig it, and I think that they're a solid group, and it's amazing to me that they're back together and making new stuff, because I mean, they were kind of a big deal in the late 80s / early 90s. Oh, it's called This Is Not a Safe Place. And it's put out on Wichita Records. If you get a chance, check it out, man. It's on Spotify, and it's on, most of the listening platforms. But I was able to pick up the double LP. It actually plays in 45. But I was able to get it for $7. I got it entirely with credit that I had online, but it wasn't selling well. But that doesn't mean anything. The funny thing is when I look at old albums that are for sale on Discogs and stuff, sometimes I noticed that a lot of them say the only markings on it are where the corner's been clipped, or there's been a chunk cut out of the record cover, and that's because they were in the discount bin back in the day. But now they're kind of gems that everybody wants. So go with what you enjoy and the musical taste you have. It doesn't really matter if it's popular or not. And I can tell you that Ride album is really solid. Again, This Is Not a Safe Place is the name of it. It's got a green cover with a hand reaching out like over a gray body of water. It's amazing. It's an amazing record. And the same with that De La Soul record. I mean, I'm not De La Soul record, I'm sorry. Got them on the mind watching a documentary about them. Any De La Soul record's amazing. But no, the same with that Daft Punk album. Check that out too, if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. Everybody's heard it by now. But, I mean, that's really about it, guys. As far as music goes, I can't think of anything else there I'm really interested in or listening to that's different right now. I've been listening to a lot of BC Boys, especially after watching that documentary. It's a good documentary. I mean, like I said, cheesy in parts, but what are you going to do? I mean, it's a bummer that MCA passed away, but there's nothing that can be done about it. I can't imagine those guys doing much without him. So, let's see, reading, not much, unfortunately. I keep threatening to read the Come Again graphic novel that I have. I've started probably 3 or 4 times. It looks really amazing, and it has been. I remember reading it and really enjoying it, and then just putting it down and not going back to it, which is a bummer. I need to get on that and finish it, because I really liked it when I was reading it. Oh, I did start listening to an audiobook when I was doing lawn work and stuff this last weekend, called The Wanderers by Chuck Wendig, Wendig. It's interesting. It's actually kind of weird, but it's a virus type story as well, about a group of people that just they automatically just start walking in some same general direction, all of them, and nothing can stop them. I mean, police try and stop them, people try and sedate them and stuff. The needles won't pierce their skin. It's bizarre. And the CDC and the World Health Organization gets involved, and it's interesting, but I think there's a lot more to it that I'll find out. I believe it's a science fiction book, so I don't know. Curious to see what happens with that. It's a really good story. But yeah, not reading too much else besides that. Try not to read any crappy news, which is everywhere. That's it, guys. Not much else to say. I'm going to get Keith Beard on here soon. I just have not been able to connect with him and get that set up. I know he's interested in being back on again. And I'd love to have him on. He's a lot of fun to talk to, and we got a lot in common. But that's it. That's all I got today for this 55th episode. Stay tuned. There will be more. I'm going to continue doing this. I know I'll be going back to work. I've got to go in for a shoot later this week, which is great. But yeah, more to come soon. Hang in there. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. Keep yourself safe. Look out for number 1 and number 2, 3, 4, 5, however, I don't know how many there are that you need to watch out for, but take care of yourselves. All right. And, oh yeah. Hey, get off my lawn.